After a little break from Red Dead to play some Empire Bay action with Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, it's time to get back in. And we're also getting back into the feedback series, which we also took a little break from. What more fitting way to get back into both than to look at your feedback when it comes to Red Dead Redemption 10 years later. By the way, thank you so much to everybody that checked out the video a few weeks ago, as well as all of my awesome viewers, subscribers, fans, mods, members, Super Chat heroes from May 2020 for helping get the channel over 11,700 subscribers. You all are awesome. And yes, we will be getting back into Red Dead Online streams this weekend. Yes, PC on Friday, PS4 Saturdays, and Xbox One on Sunday. So let's get into it, shall we? Your comments regarding Red Dead Redemption 10 years later. As usual, my feedback series, only relevant comments to the video, and I will not be reading over people's replies to each other unless it's replying to my comments. So that's the only exception. All right, so let's check out the comments. What should Rockstar do when it comes to the 10th anniversary of Red Dead Redemption? Now, they did actually put out a news wire regarding the 10th anniversary. I think that was pretty much all they did. And the media did a few things. Other content creators also celebrate the 10th anniversary of Red Dead Redemption. So that was pretty awesome. But we didn't really have an event week in Red Dead Online last week themed around Red Dead Redemption 1, which was very unfortunate. And obviously no news at all regarding a 10-year anniversary remake of Red Dead Redemption, or repackaged as a story DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2 with a Mexico expansion for Red Dead Online. You know, that was the leaked information we got many months ago. It's still possible. Maybe they just couldn't reach the 10th anniversary mark in order for it to happen. But at the same time, just like I always say, when it comes to rumors and leaks, we have to take it with a grain of salt until officially confirmed by Rockstar. All right, so your comments. What should Rockstar do when it comes to the 10th anniversary? Kyle says, what I want, full remake, faithfully recreates Red Dead Redemption for modern consoles and finally gives it to the PC release. What I'm going to get, a discount for a cowboy outfit in Red Dead Online. Yeah, pretty much. Toast Track, probably give us new hats. I don't even think we got a new hat, though. So we didn't even get a new hat. Yay. Let's see. AWA, what was the issue you talked about in the video regarding the portion of Red Dead Redemption 1? Okay, so in case you weren't aware of this, there was problems with the development of Red Dead Redemption. Now, IGN actually had an interview with some of the developers at Rockstar, and it was a pretty good interview, but they failed to mention the part that Leslie Benzies played in getting Red Dead Redemption ready to go in the final months leading up to its launch 10 years ago on last gen Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And because of those issues, Rockstar was never able to properly port it over to PC. And that's a big reason why we never got a PC version of Red Dead Redemption. Plus, prior to this, they attempted to create a PC version of Grand Theft Auto 4. That was a disaster. Eventually, Rockstar was able to fix the PC version of Grand Theft Auto 4, but they were never able to do a PC port for Red Dead Redemption. And they never made a version for PlayStation 4. You can play Red Dead Redemption on PlayStation 4, but through the PlayStation Now streaming service. It's not very good. I actually did play a little bit of it. You guys can go check out that video. I think I streamed it. The quality was not that good. However, when it comes to Xbox One, they have a lot of backwards compatible games, and to Microsoft's credit, they did a fantastic job making the 360 version of Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption multiplayer backwards compatible on the Xbox One, Xbox One S, and especially on the Xbox One X. Next, we go to Geralt. Red Dead Redemption 2 might be the last masterpiece Rockstar will work on. The next game will definitely be a lower quality due to Dan Houser quitting and Take-Two asking for games to be released more frequently. I think that despite the fact that Dan Houser has walked away, I have to believe that the script for Grand Theft Auto 6, or whatever the next Grand Theft Auto is going to be called, coming out apparently in either 2023 or 2024. That's the rumor. Once again, you got to take that with a grain of pixel. But I think that at the very least, we may still see, from a writing aspect, Dan Houser's influence on the next GTA. I feel like that the script was probably already written out well in advance prior to Dan Houser officially retiring and walking away from Rockstar. Now, post GTA 6, the next GTA game, yeah, that's when we may start to see the writing go downhill, but there's always hope that they may bring on other writers to pick up, where Dan Houser left off. Those are big shoes to fill, but it's not impossible for the writing and the story and the characters going forward in future Rockstar games to still be good. At least that's what we hope for when it comes to the future of Rockstar games post Red Dead Redemption 2. Next, let's go to Mike. Undead Nightmare was iconic for me just as much as Red Dead Redemption 1. I'm sure this is hoping for too much, but a version of Undead Nightmare set in Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Online, that would take iconic to the most epic levels. I would pay handsomely for that to become a reality. And that's what I always envision if they do ever give us a remake of Red Dead Redemption, even if it's repackaged as a story DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2, then they could always do a separate story DLC with Undead Nightmare as well. So they could give us 2 story DLCs for Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption, and of course Undead Nightmare. And I think there's definitely elements from Undead Nightmare they could use maybe as early as this October for a Halloween-themed update to Red Dead Online. At least that's something a lot of us would like to see going forward, along with more content, roles, etc. Jedi Nightwing Mexico DLC would be kind of cool. I would love for them to add a Mexico expansion to Red Dead Online. It's something we've talked about quite a few times, and maybe, just maybe, that's one of the plans that Rockstar has for their roadmap going forward for Red Dead Online, but I would also love for them to do a remake for Red Dead Redemption as well. Cameron, a PC release, and as I mentioned already, as of right now, the original version of Red Dead Redemption cannot be ported to PC, at least that's what they say, but a remaster repackaged as a story DLC, faithfully rebuilt, for Red Dead Redemption 2 could be. So I definitely think that's something that Rockstar should consider if they're not already in the process of making that a reality. Of course, Rockstar, they're very secretive, so we have no idea whether or not there actually is going to be a Red Dead Redemption remake or a story DLC to Red Dead Redemption 2, aka Red Dead Redemption brought in that way, until Rockstar confirms it or denies it. Moving on to Toast Track, man. Playing Red Dead Redemption got me hooked on Westerns 10 years ago, and although the graphics aren't quite as polished as in Arthur's story, I still prefer John Marston's quest, even if he can't swim. Yeah. Let's see, 2 of my favorite characters and adventures were Bonnie McFarlane and Landon Ricketts. Yes, Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 are both masterpieces, but my all-time favorite has to be Red Dead Redemption 1. Destiny Foxy in 2015, I got to play this game for the first time because a friend gave me his copy and I loved it. My favorite memories are the story and the missions and the locations. That's why in Red Dead Online, I always stay in the Red Dead Redemption 1 map of West Elizabeth with the Great Plains and the New Austin region. Yeah, I like to gravitate in that area as well, even though I do like Big Valley and the Heartlands and Amberino. Let's see, truly a great game. It's also what turned me into a Western fan, and happy 10-year anniversary to Red Dead Redemption. Yes, happy anniversary. Let's see, 3 Me remake the game. Maybe the sales of the Mafia trilogy will show that Take-Two, the remakes work and sell really well. Well, I mean, it has been proven already. I mean, there have been several games that have been either remastered or faithfully remade, and I think that's what they would have to do with Red Dead Redemption. It would have to be a remake as opposed to a quote-unquote remaster. But I think that Red Dead Redemption would do quite well because so many players out there, A, have never played Red Dead Redemption, and they're now Red Dead fans because of Red Dead Redemption 2, and they'd love to go and continue the story with John and play that for the very first time from their perspective. And for those of us that have been fans since Red Dead Redemption came out 10 years ago, we would love to go back and play through Red Dead Redemption again, faithfully rebuilt with the current Rage engine for Red Dead Redemption 2. So it's a win-win either way, in my opinion, for Rockstar to give us a remake to Red Dead Redemption, no matter how they wish to package it, as a standalone game or as a story DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2. Richard Garcia says they need to do a Red Dead Redemption remaster. That would be badass. They would buy it. A remaster could work, but I fear that the problems that the original version of Red Dead Redemption has may end up making it difficult for it to port. And that's why I think a remake, a rebuild, would probably be the better way for Rockstar to go. Because if you look at Mafia 2 Definitive Edition, which I streamed last weekend, there were problems that I encountered on the original version of Mafia 2 that's also in the Definitive Edition of Mafia 2. Now, Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is a remaster, whereas Mafia Definitive Edition coming out in late August is a remake, a rebuild, faithfully, of Mafia: The City of Lost Heaven. That's the difference for those of you that are unaware of the difference. Even I get confused at that as well, so don't worry too much about that. So I think that the best course of action would simply be for Rockstar to just remake Red Dead Redemption faithfully with the Red Dead Redemption 2 map, as opposed to attempting a remaster, which could cause issues and make it difficult to port from last gen to current gen, and of course to PC, where a lot of Red Dead fans happen to have copies of Red Dead Redemption 2 and would love to play Red Dead Redemption on their gaming rig. Next we go to Kyle. Happy birthday, Red Dead Redemption. I was about 12 when the first game came out, so I basically grew up with the game for a decade. It was one of the first games I ever played, with a strong narrative, great characters, along with Grand Theft Auto 4. John Marston's story is still Rockstar's masterpiece in my honest opinion. Don't get me wrong though, I love both John and Arthur, Rockstar's best protagonists so far. I still think that the original game looks great 10 years later, especially on Xbox One X. I agree, but I would love a full remake of the first game so much. I'm kind of shocked that Take-Two hasn't pushed Rockstar to do more remasters, remakes, because of the easy money it would bring. And that was something a lot of people were expecting, a remaster of Grand Theft Auto 4 on its 10-year anniversary for, current gen consoles as well as the smartphone, because I think they've added a lot of this 3D era GTAs to the smartphone. Most recently, I think it was GTA San Andreas, Vice City 3. I think they also added Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, I believe. So a lot of people were surprised when the 10-year anniversary of GTA 4 came and went, and yet nothing. But same thing looks like it's going to transpire when it comes to Red Dead Redemption 1, unfortunately. Next we go to Connor. It was strange. Red Dead Redemption gave me a renewed love of nature. When this game came out, I would take time to watch the sunset outside my window with ambient guitars and whistles of the game playing in my head. Masterpiece. Quote, nobody forgets, nobody gets forgiven. Famous words for John Marston. And I agree, that's one of my favorite things that I would do in Red Dead Redemption after I beat the main story, is just simply ride around the map and just explore, and just whenever I was bored and I had nothing else going on, it's one of the things I do, whether it's driving around in GTA or galloping around on a horse in Red Dead. So those are two things I enjoy doing, and it's just fun, especially when you have your mind on things and you just want to listen to some music and just play something without even really playing anything, just exploring and adventuring and wandering around. Sinister RC, 10 years, wow, time flies, truly a great game. I agree, Sinister, time most definitely does fly. Martin, Red Dead Redemption is my favorite game of all time. The story is absolutely amazing and the characters are equally amazing. My favorite part is when you first ride to Mexico and the awesome music. Yeah, I agree, that's a great part. I would love Rockstar to add a remake version to Red Dead Redemption 2. And I think it would complete the game. I agree. I think that, since a lot of single-player fans for Red Dead Redemption 2 would love a story DLC, what better way to give the Red Dead Redemption 2 community a story DLC than by giving us a remake of Red Dead Redemption 1 along with a remake of Undead Nightmare. That's two story DLCs that are fantastic ideas. Whether or not they actually implement that in the future remains to be seen. Brian, awesome video, GB. Well, thank you, Brian. Red Dead Redemption 1 is awesome. John Marston is an awesome character, in my opinion. I Know Your Stranger missions. Yeah, the I Know You missions are really good with the Strange Man. Have an awesome day, GB, and you all have an awesome day as well. Let's see, Gaming Time. I would love a remake instead of a remaster. I agree. Let's see, I had fun playing it when it first came out, but it's certainly aged. Red Dead Redemption 2 came along with its own unique personality, but Red Dead Redemption is just Wild West GTA, and I don't know if a remaster will fix that. I also just want John to live and have a good honor ending. And I think that's kind of the point, without spoiling Red Dead Redemption, is the fact that we can't run away from our sins. We can't escape from the things that we've done. But for those that have done bad things in their lives, you still have a chance for redemption to try and right some of those wrongs, or at least live out your life and try to do good in order to protect those that you love and care about, no matter what your fate happens to end up being or becoming. Next, we go to Scott. I would love to see them release it for the newer platforms. They could have been doing this while they were working on From Home and not working on Red Dead Online, but odds of that happening were slim to none. I actually may drop my Red Dead Online daily streak and go back to replaying this until they give us some new content. And regarding the daily challenges, once I just stopped doing them, because as some of you know, I'm on all three platforms, PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Once I stopped doing it every day, it was kind of a relief, and it really did reduce my burnout factor when it came to Red Dead Online. And I sincerely hope that sometime in June we actually get new content finally. We've been waiting for quite a while now. I realize that the bug has probably delayed some things, but at the same time, I feel like there's only so much developers can do from home. I mean, yeah, they could have their, I guess, like top tier, state-of-the-art PCs like brought home to work on, but I feel like the office environment for developers and the studio itself is where most of the hard work is going to be taken care of. Moving on to Skunky. Let's see, Red Dead Redemption 2 is such an emotional experience. I think Rockstar needs to celebrate the 10-year-old game by giving us an updated release on all current platforms. Just do it! Yeah, hopefully they will eventually. Here's hoping. Let's see, Michelle, Rockstar could have done something so great by releasing a remaster on the 10th anniversary. I agree, Michelle. A remaster or a remake would have been great. But unfortunately, as most of us know, May is almost gone. And nothing, as usual, from Rockstar when it comes to any sort of information. Slip Kid, let's see. I've been slacking in the Red Dead Redemption games. I plan on playing through 2 on PC soon, but I wish I had access to the first game as well. If a remaster were ever built that brought the game to PC, that would be amazing, especially a faithful remake. Let's see, Vision X, I played this game 3 times on PlayStation Now, and it was still fantastic each time, even though I played Red Dead Redemption 2 first. After playing through Red Dead Redemption, John Marston became my favorite protagonist of all time. And yeah, PlayStation Now, in my opinion, from years ago, maybe it's better now, is not very good. Of course, I'm not a fan of streaming video games, whether it's PlayStation Now or Stadia. But at the very least, it's better than nothing, and that's what PlayStation 4 fans have. And I still think there's like a week free trial you can get through PlayStation Now. So what you could do is do the free week trial of PlayStation Now if you happen to have PlayStation 4 and play Red Dead Redemption. And then once you're done, you should be able to get it done within a week because it's not that long of a game. It's nowhere near as long as Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, knock it out within a week and then cancel your subscription so you don't have to pay money for it. Next, let's go to Ryan, one of the most memorable games of all time. I agree. Let's see, Jorge says, I really want to play this game as I've never fully experienced it. If it came out on PlayStation 4 or even PC, I would buy it. And Jorge, a lot of people would, even those of us that have played the first Red Dead Redemption like countless times over the past 10 years, hell yeah, we would buy that game again as well. Whether, as mentioned, as a story DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2 or, you know, as a standalone game. Absolutely. Let's see, Daniel. Hello, Daniel. Great video, GB. I think John Marston looks way better in Red Dead Redemption 1 than Red Dead Redemption 2. He looks okay in Red Dead Redemption 2. I guess I'm more fond of John's look in Red Dead Redemption 1 because that's the look I'm used to. But, you know, he does resemble what John Marston would look like on current gen. Maybe not 100%, but it's close enough. Let's see, Tenny K says, I don't really like the first Red Dead Redemption, but I'm incredibly grateful for it because it gave us Red Dead Redemption 2, which is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's because I never was a fan of the cowboys, which is why Red Dead Redemption 2 was so impressive to me. It made me care about cowboys. I also wasn't a massive fan of John as a protagonist, especially how he kind of dishonorably playing through both sides of Mexican Civil War just to get what he wanted. I appreciate why he's doing it, but no one ever calls him out on it, and he doesn't even seem to have any guilt about literally doing one mission for the rebels and immediately doing another mission for the Mexican government. And it's the Mexico arc that a lot of Red Dead Redemption 1 fans have some issue with, myself included, without spoiling anything. And what I think Rockstar should have done, in hindsight, was to give you an option to go through Mexico, like playing one arc or the other. Either you play through it to the side of the rebels, or else you play through it on the side of the Mexican government. But at the end of the day, the goal is accomplished. You're going to get what you need to get taken care of in Mexico in order to move on to the next arc of Red Dead Redemption 1. Without spoiling anything, once again, I think that that's what Rockstar should have done when it came to the Mexico arc. I love having Mexico in the game, but I agree with you. I feel like that they should have done a better job of having John pick a side, right? At the early stages of the Mexico arc, you kind of get a feel for both sides, but there comes a point where you have to pick the side with the rebels from start to finish or the Mexican government. And each one plays out a little bit differently, but ends up with the same conclusion, allowing John to move on throughout the rest of the story of Red Dead Redemption. But I agree with you on that, Tinny, but at the same time, I feel like Red Dead Redemption 1 is my favorite of the two games. Even though I absolutely love Red Dead Redemption 2, and I love Arthur Morgan as a protagonist, I'll always love John just a little bit better. They're definitely in the top 5, and they're like very close first, second place between John and Arthur as protagonists in video games. Moving on to Jonathan, whenever I'm in Red Dead Online and I'm going out of the map and going to Mexico, I always put on Escalera. Hey, I love exploring outside the map as well, Jonathan, in Red Dead Online. It's been a while. Maybe this weekend, with our return to Red Dead Online, maybe we'll take a little trip or two. Maybe. If we're able to. I'm sure Rockstar's probably patched it by now. Also, Jonathan says, thanks for no spoilers. I know it's an old game, but some people have played Red Dead Redemption 2 and they haven't played Red Dead Redemption 1. Yet that is very considerate. Yeah, I try anytime I'm playing through a game or talking about a game, whether it's this past week of Mafia 2 or, in this case, Red Dead Redemption, to be considerate of others, because not everyone has played through Mafia 2 or Red Dead Redemption, even if you've played Mafia 3 or Red Dead Redemption 2. So I try not to spoil things, and if I do, it's unintentional, and I realize that this game is 10 years old, and a lot of people that have played Red Dead Redemption 2 only probably are aware of the story of Red Dead Redemption. They probably went to go watch the cutscenes. They know how it plays out, but I always try to be considerate of that person or two that may not be, that hold out hope that eventually a remake version will come out and they'll actually get to experience it for themselves for the very first time. So it's something I don't want to take away from any of you by unintentionally spoiling a video game or a movie like Titanic. Yeah, I know, the ship sinks. Okay. No need to boo me, all right? It's history, okay? Let's see, Biketron. I recently replayed Red Dead Redemption. Still an excellent game, and the graphics have aged well, at least in my opinion. For a last-gen game, Biketron, I agree. It still looks great. Now, when you compare it side by side with Red Dead Redemption 2, of course Red Dead Redemption 2 looks better because it was built for current gen and built for modern PCs. But for a game from last gen, it's one of the best-looking last-gen games out there. Let's see, Cameron, I first discovered Red Dead Redemption through Undead Nightmare. I love that game so much I picked up the normal game, and I would absolutely put it on my 10 games that you should play before you die list. That's a good list to have, and I would definitely have Red Dead Redemption on that list. Let's see, The Beast Games, my third favorite Rockstar game behind Red Dead Redemption 2 and Max Payne 3. I never got around to playing Max Payne 3 to Beast Games. I hear it's pretty good. I played the first Max Payne game. I know it wasn't made by Rockstar, but I just never got around to playing Max Payne 3. Maybe one day I will. Let's see, Sedan, I didn't get the game until 2012, so I figured it would only be fair to wait and watch the game 2 days later. I love this game, and so much like the other 2010 games, Fallout New Vegas and Mafia 2, I think hold up today in terms of gameplay and story, largely unmatched now 10 years on. they've been surpassed in terms of graphics, but that's only a small part of how good these games are. I agree, Sedan. I agree absolutely. Let's see, Game Cats like Red Dead Redemption. Comment Red Dead Redemption 2. All right, Game Cats, I'll give you a like. In fact, I went ahead and gave you all likes and hearts for taking the time to leave comments for the Red Dead Redemption 10 years later video. You're welcome. All right, so we got a few more comments left, and we will wrap up this feedback vid. See, Wolf. Let's see, if Rockstar doesn't acknowledge this game's 10-year anniversary, people will be pissed. Me being one of them, this game got me into the franchise and birthed my love for the Wild West when I played it back in 2011. Considering there hasn't been any news on Red Dead Online, failing to acknowledge its anniversary would give off the wrong impressions. In all fairness to Rockstar, they did acknowledge the 10-year anniversary with this newswire, and there was an interview IGN did with some of the developers, as I mentioned a moment ago. I will post both articles below in the description section of this feedback video for you to go check out. Feel free to do so. But Rockstar did mention, obviously, some information, some screenshots, some artwork regarding Red Dead Redemption, the first one. It is unfortunate that they have said nothing about a possible remake or remaster of Red Dead Redemption. And at the very least, they could have themed that event week in Red Dead Online around Red Dead Redemption. Maybe have things transpiring in like the Great Plains area all the way west to New Austin, with the stranger missions being double money, especially like Bonnie and like Shaky. That would have been really cool. And the bounties maybe in that area being considerably higher. Just, they could have themed it a little bit better in order to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Online. But unfortunately, they didn't for reasons. And maybe they had plans, and maybe the bug, kind of derailed those plans. And there's always a possibility that maybe, just maybe, we will still get a remake of Red Dead Redemption. They're just working on it, and it's unfortunately taken longer than they originally planned. Maybe their original hope and dream was to get it out in the 10-year sphere, May 2020, to mark the 10-year anniversary, but maybe it's just taking a little bit longer. Rockstar does have a habit of delaying video games and DLC, so we can still hold out some hope that there might still be a remake or some sort of story DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2 that is, a faithful rebuild of Red Dead Redemption, and hopefully Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare as well. Until Rockstar debunks it, until they come out and say, no, it's not happening, we can still have hope. And you know what they say. Rebellions are built on hope. And finally, Karunzi. Oh yeah, I gotta give you guys likes too. Hold on. Sorry, Wolf. Sorry, Karunzi. There y'all go. I didn't want y'all to feel left out. Let's see, and finally, Karunzi. Honestly, never got the chance to play this game as well as Red Dead Redemption 2 fan. I would love to jump on the opportunity if they would do a remake of Red Dead Redemption 1. Hopefully, as you mentioned, GB, we'll get some sort of celebration content from this Rockstar. Unfortunately, spoilers, we didn't. There's a newswire from Rockstar below in the description section. That IGN interview, you should check out both. But at the end of the day, we did not get anything theme-wise regarding last week's event week in Red Dead Online, which is very unfortunate. It's a missed opportunity by Rockstar, and they could have done things in the game that would have at least appealed to us as Red Dead Redemption fans, but all we really got was that newswire. But at the end of the day, I guess that's better than nothing, I suppose. But anyways, I do appreciate you all taking the time to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Red Dead Redemption with me. It's one of my favorite games of all time, especially on last gen, along with Mafia 2, a few other games as well. And I guess you could also include Grand Theft Auto 4 on that list of favorite last gen games. Does Grand Theft Auto 5 count? Because it's technically last gen as well. They just ported it over to current gen, and we're not going to see another GTA until 2023, 2024 at the earliest. But absolutely, if I was to compile a top 10 list, I would have to put Red Dead Redemption, along with Red Dead Redemption 2, in that list, probably in the top 5, maybe even the top 3. So, yes, absolutely love Red Dead Redemption, and I've been a huge Western fan throughout most of my life, as most of you are aware of. Fell in love with Red Dead Redemption the very first time I played it, over 10 years ago on the Xbox 360. And I look forward to hopefully future content updates to Red Dead Online. And maybe, just maybe, we can hold out some hope, a small degree, for a potential remake of Red Dead Redemption somewhere down the road. Your thoughts, your views, and opinions regarding the 10-year anniversary of Red Dead Redemption. Do you think that we'll ever see a remake of this game, or at the very least repackaged as a faithfully rebuilt story DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2, along with Undead Nightmare, which we will do a 10 years later video of when that 10-year anniversary comes up in a few months from now. Your thoughts, your views, and opinions regarding Red Dead Redemption, welcome, as always, below in the comments section.